Well, this is one of the legendary climbs of the Tour de France, first introduced into the Tour in 1910 to toughen up the race. It's certainly toughening up the race here in 2008.
The stage to Hautacam is the first real, true testing ground of this Tour de France. The guys who are going to be in contention to win the Tour de France are going to be, you know, at the front.
Any one of these high mountain stages separate the men from the boys, but the first one also separates the leaders from the not leaders.
Oh, that's a terrific move by Christian van der Velde.
Christian van der Velde could very easily, Phil, be sitting in third place in the overall standings tonight.
He's been absolutely outstanding, Christian. I think deep down in our hearts, we did not expect van der Velde to survive the mountains today, as he has done for 9 days. And yet he's not only survived them, he's been absolutely superb.
And you can see Van der Velde has come to the front. He's trying to lift the pace a fraction now as he gets towards the line.
He could be third overall still. Cadel Evans is chasing him down. It is going to be close.
Christian, today you made your day. You were the best climbers in the world. They were attacking you. You were attacking them back. You definitely made your mark on this tour. How do you feel right now?
I feel great. I mean, this is what I've been thinking of for a long time, and it's great to finally do it here.
Top 3 in GC, Christian. Awesome ride.
Thank you.
Christian, what's the feeling with Evans?
Can I get a little room, guys?
I was domestique my whole career, getting water, food, and it was really rewarded being with great riders, you know, like Lance. But yeah, it's just different now. I remember calling Carsten Kroon, one of my teammates in CSC, and he's like, "Shit, man, you might win the Tour de France. What the hell is going on?" You know, like I know it's really a possibility, isn't it, Carsten? And you know, it's a little bit of, you feel pressure though. At the same time, it's a little bit scary.
Biggest thing with Christian is just convincing him that he can do it.
Right.
I mean, that's because he's never convinced he can. So.
Christian van der Velde had the potential from his almost very first day in the bike to win this race. But that potential was never nurtured. He was never encouraged to be as good as he should have been. Obviously because he was performing in the shadow of, you know, Lance Armstrong. A prime example of that is that in 1999, in his second season as a professional, he rode for US Postal, and they had this pre-season training camp where they were asked to ride it flat out for 10 kilometers, and they were going to have a little sample of their blood taken at the end of it. And that sample was tested for lactate, which is an indicator of fitness and indeed of your potential as an athlete. And in that test, Van der Velde finished second, except that he didn't really finish second, he actually won it. And the reason why the numbers were doctored was because the team leader was Lance Armstrong, and the team management didn't think that Lance would take too kindly to this young upstart upstaging him.
Supposedly, it just kind of contorted the results a little bit so that Lance won and I was behind him. And just keep confidence, and the more I think about it, yeah, you know, now that I understand how much confidence really does mean to you as a cyclist, I think Johan's a genius by doing that.
To keep Lance's confidence?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's great.
But what did it do to your confidence?
I was still psyched that I got second to Lance, man. I was 22 years old, man. The years before, I would have never beaten my whole team.
The team has really looked at me as a leader as a team. You know, we didn't have...
I think one of the unfortunate things is... I was dropped on the Tourmalet, so I didn't really have any idea what was going on in the race. I rode back down the mountain, got to the bus to find Christian in third overall. And I was like, ooh, what's this? For the first time in his career, he was mixing it up with the very best. It was amazing to see Christian exceeding what his expectations were. And on the same day, that day and the day before, I was just plummeting in my condition. I was just getting worse and worse. And I can remember being extremely kind of in awe of Christian. I was in awe of the fact that what he was doing. And then I was still kind of also a bit confused at how bad I was and wishing I could be doing what Christian was doing, be where he was in the race.
168 riders on the start line this morning, one not able to start because Barlow World's Moses Duanas had returned a positive drug test at EPO. The gendarmes on hand to take him away for further questioning. His tour and possibly his career is over.
Oh shit, and boulevard have pulled out. What? Boulevard have now pulled out.
I kind of figured they would.
Yeah.
They quit the race. Yeah.
Hang on, wait, no, sorry, no, they just pulled out the rider, not the team, so reading in French.
I thought they were going to pull out for sure.
Yeah, they're saying their other riders will continue racing.
I was going to say. They promised us no angry. They all promised to quit taking shit.
Yeah. Yeah. We promise. Pinky promise.
It's a tragic situation. I mean, it's too bad. But I mean, end of the day, like, it's you know, I mean, that's controls are working. I mean, that's why they test people. Statistically speaking, there may be another one before the end of the tour. And
people say to me all the time, like, why are you involved in cycling? You're working with a bunch of dopers, cheaters. What's bullshit is the hypocrisy that exists. Journalists like you are all in this frenzy about it now. Why weren't you in a frenzy about it 10 years ago? It pisses me off.
But I didn't know about it 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, everyone knew about it 10 years ago.
My son made this for you.
You just got here today?
Yeah, just got here.
47th now.
It was really hard for Dave. He's never been anything but a leader. So it was very hard for him to take a step back and see his place on the team during the Tour de France.
It was odd, simply because our roles completely reversed, whereas I was the kind of natural leader, if you like. It kind of became that Christian's the leader.
It's a long, vicious, unrelenting climb, this. It really is, and it gets steeper and steeper.
Okay, Christian, the next 5K of this climb are going to be pretty much the hardest 5K of the climb, and then it actually gets more gradual toward the top.
This is really, Phil, at this point, just a question of survival. You get a chance there to see how steep this climb is.
We really are on top of the world here. This is the highest through road in Europe.
I was suffering the whole day there. I was really having a hard time. It was more or less just like one kilometer, really, just not being able to push myself that much harder and just to stay with the group, because I'm sure if I would have got through that, then most likely would have been okay over the top. But
well, I think Van der Velde has dropped there, Paul, because he's not in that group up the road at the moment. He needs to dig deep right now. It's every man for himself.
The team didn't know that I was off the back for me, and they're still like talking to me, and I was like, you know, I'm dropped, you know, I'm like.
The road was curving like this, and he was getting dropped on the outside of it, and so the cars in front of us were actually blocking him, so we just couldn't see him. And so we're talking to him, and all of a sudden, he's right in front of us in the car, and it was, you know, yeah, it was just shocking. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Now we needed someone to, you know, to be able to try to pace Christian back into contention.
We need to have Ryder just stop and come back and help Christian. We need to have Ryder come all the way back and stop and help Christian.
Tell him to stop now.
Just tell him to stop now.
Ryder has to stop pedaling now. We need Ryder back with Christian immediately, okay? Christian has lost contact with the front 7 or 8. We need him to stop immediately.
At that particular moment, Ryder was in a position to win the stage, but because Ryder knew his only job that day was not stage win, was to help Christian, Ryder sacrificed his chances, dropped back, and came to Christian.
There's Ryder there. There's Ryder there. Just past the front group. Stop.
All right, Ryder, loosen up those legs and get ready to do everything you can to help Christian. He's just about 10 seconds behind you, Ryder. He's coming up.
Ryder really came through for Christian that day. I don't think he was happy when he found out that one of the riders he was riding with up in front was the one who actually ended up winning the stage. Of course not, but, you know, but he understood.
I think there's always going to be a little part of himself, because he's human, that can imagine himself having gone on and won the stage, which he was fully capable of doing. But I think he was very proud of what he did. We were all very proud of him, that's for sure. And I think if he'd won the stage that day and Christian had been left on his own, it would have been, Ryder wouldn't have been a popular person, and I don't think Ryder would have lived very well with himself if he'd done that.
Come Come on, guys, come on. You can make up a lot of time by just going as hard as you can over the top of this thing. You can make up a lot of time, guys. 500 meters. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You're picking them back. You're picking them back. You're bringing it back. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Come on, come on.
Both of you guys, full gas down this descent, guys. We're going to limit everything we can.
We're trying to make up time on the descent, and I made a bad decision going through one of the switchbacks and just washed out. It wasn't a horrific crash by any means, but it did take my edge away, or all the guts that I did have away completely, and I lost my rhythm. From there on, we did a horrible descent. You know, I lost more time on the downhill than I did on the climb, which is all the more frustrating. It was a horrible ride home from the race, and I was really upset and disappointed, and I felt bad for the team. I felt bad for everybody, and I felt bad for a rider for having to sit up. I felt, you know, it was just not fun for me. What I really thought of, maybe this is me. This is my natural level.
Yeah, more.
My legs were so bad those first 20 minutes yesterday. I was like, oh fuck. That's why I was spinning so much the rest of the day. The fear.
I mean, we were probably like about 100 guys back, and guys are flicking the shit out of each other. Yeah. I'm not losing one more spot. No service. If you have your own, he was crying. He was crying. Wegman was crying. I felt so bad, man.
He was crying.
Yeah, he was breathing so hard. I'm like, maybe it's asthmatic or something. But it's like, no, he's crying.
Yeah, I thought he was joking, right? I thought he was like, oh, I'm not tired, you know, I was pretending.
Just didn't ride enough on the rest day. And it hurt him.
We told him 3 hours minimum.
Yeah.
He wussed out of it in the middle of it.
Rest days aren't rest at all. Like, you can't rest. As an athlete at this level, like, you take a day off, you're basically fucked for 2 weeks. I mean, you can't, you just can't rest. Like, your metabolism is so revved up. Yeah, fuck, man. We talked about that and talked about it, and then it's like, no, let's go home early. Like,